My dearest brothers and sisters, today we're going to be planting a victory garden. A victory garden amidst the drear of winter, which will flourish in early spring. But we've got to start right now. And the reason why we have to plant a victory garden, and there are several wonderful reasons, but one is, of course, the headlines tell us that although inflation is abating, the price of food is continuing to soar. And already, if fruits and vegetables are expensive enough here in California where they're grown, it's hard to imagine what they are on the East Coast, say in New York City or in Boston, for example. So the time to plant a victory garden is now. We can do it. And we're also planting a victory garden because the pundits say that we're on the verge of a severe recession. And it'll be a recession very different from any other we've seen. Not only will it be more drastic than 2007, 2008, but it will also be inflationary at the same time, at least as regards the price of food. The newspapers are talking about food shortages, for example. And another reason why we have to plant a victory garden is because the world is in a more dangerous condition than it was even during the Cuban Missile Crisis. A glance at the headlines will affirm that. So therefore, it behooves us, it may even be a question of survival, to plant a victory garden now. If you have a front yard, plant it out with heirloom and historic fruit trees. And now is the time to plant a bare root tree. It assuredly is anywhere in the United States. If you have a backyard, think about digging it up and planting a garden. Yes, the ground is frozen right now, that's true, but you can certainly plan your garden. And most important of all, you can get your compost pile going right now, regardless of what the weather is out there. In your kitchen, you should have a 5-gallon bucket. And in that bucket, every banana peel, every apple core, every carrot top, every avocado peel should all go into the compost. It's all gold. The earthworms will love it and will help to convert it to magnificent, fragrant humus. And once a week, you should take your bucket out and dump it in your compost pile in your backyard. And if you live in an apartment, take the bucket over to your community garden. They will kiss you for it. It is vital. A compost pile, let us remember, is the heart and soul of your organic garden. So let's start composting right away. Very, very, very important. And we're also planting a victory garden because of all peoples, we are the loneliest of people. Where do all the lonely people come from? Where do they all come from? What people is more distant, more remote, and more frightened and fearful than we are? And we're also planting a victory garden because 100 million of us are obese. 100 million, think about it. And of kids and teenagers, 1/5, 20% are obese. And obesity, as you know, is on the highway towards diabetes. And beyond that, there is cancer and heart disease. And we're planting a victory garden because 60% of the food that we eat is ultra-processed food. This is especially tragic, because ultra-processed foods is one of the main causal factors in this epidemic of obesity. So let's start planting, brothers and sisters, and we're going to start planting our victory garden with lettuce. And I have found that of all the different varieties of lettuce, there is loose leaf lettuce, there is heading lettuce, there's oak leaf lettuce. Of all the different varieties, romaine lettuce, which is a tall, upright lettuce, does the best during cool weather, in winter and in early spring. So we're going to start with a magnificent old-time English romaine lettuce called winter density. It will grow anywhere in the US of A. So we'll plant our winter density lettuce, delicious lettuce, and looks so magnificent in your garden. So, winter density lettuce. And then by the way, I got these seeds for winter density from the Seed Savers Exchange. They're magnificent people in the Midwest, and they are dedicated, working day after day to preserving your genetic heritage in heirloom and historic seeds. Then we're going to be planting another magnificent romaine lettuce called salvias, and here we'll plant it out right there. Salvias, heirloom and historic seeds, and then we cannot help ourselves but plant Grandpa Admir's lettuce. This goes way back in history, and I got this from the Seed Savers Exchange. Wonderful people. Please visit their website and support them. So, Grandpa Admir's lettuce from the Seed Savers Exchange. And then a wonderful heirloom French lettuce called Marble of Four Seasons. It is simply glorious. And it too will grow most anywhere US of A. So Marble of Four Seasons lettuce. And that completes our lettuce planting. And then I'm going to be planting some kale. Kale is the healthiest vegetable there is for us. Its health benefits are so numerous. And so I'm going to be planting a most delicious kale called Red Ursa kale. And I've got this from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. Wonderful people in the Midwest, and their prices are altogether reasonable. So please patronize Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. And then another kale from the same company is 1,000-headed kale. Look at the size of those leaves. Talk about a vigorous plant. So 1,000-headed kale. And what are we going to do after planting our lettuce and our kale? Spinach, of course. Bloomsdale spinach is a classic American variety. So we're going to be planting our Bloomsdale spinach. Here we go. This particular variety is called Winter Bloomsdale. It makes magnificent leaves that will go so well in your salads and your green drinks. And then after that, a golden beet. Why not? I'm planting this not so much for the magnificent roots, golden in color, but for the beet greens. Beet greens go so well in salads. They're so delicious. Raw or steamed, but of course. So Boulder, a variety of golden beet. And then of course, Swiss chard. This is a wonderful chard called Charbel. It's from Johnny's Selected Seeds, a wonderful company in the state of Maine. They're an employee-owned company, and they're utterly dedicated towards recreating abundance everywhere. So here we go with Charbel. Now, when I get this home, I'm going to water the plant. I'm going to put a damp cloth over it. I'm going to keep this in my house, say in my kitchen, for example, in a warm place. And as soon as the seeds germinate, I'm going to put them in direct sunlight, either in a south-facing window or in a greenhouse. That's very, very important. As soon as the seeds germinate, expose them. They've got to be exposed to direct sunlight so they don't get leggy. And then when they come up, after they come up, they're going to come up. This is a very, very dense planting. I'm going to separate them out and plant them again from this seed tray to other seed trays, and then bring them back into the greenhouse or the south-facing windows of my house. And when they grow up and germinate and harden off, I'll set them outside. And then in mid-April or early May, depending on your locale, I will set out the seedlings in permanent garden beds. So that's it. This is the beginning of my victory garden. Your forebears planted victory gardens during the Second World War. And in 1944, by 1944, a large portion of the vegetables that people ate came from their victory gardens. It works, it's proven, and it is a necessity. So, brothers and sisters, let's go forward. We have got to grow it ourselves and support, please, your local community garden. My privilege to share with you. Your comments and suggestions, please write them down below. We want so much to hear from you. Let us go forward, and thank you.